Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and believers of all ages. It's Storytelling Ron. Hello, storytellers. I'm here to talk about why we don't need Dungeons and Dragons. And you all love Dungeons and Dragons. I love Dungeons and Dragons. We all have our experiences with Dungeons and Dragons. The early, I'm started in the late 70s. But I guess I gotta confess, I actually was into Dungeons and Dragons, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. My books got beat up and used quite a bit, but then I discovered, I found Spell Law from Rollmaster, or was it MERP first? Either way, I went into MERP, Middle Earth Role Playing, and was so intrigued by the Spell Law type of thing, and so I did move into that for many years. So I wasn't completely a D&D freak. Like, I never played 3 or 4. Didn't have any interest at all. I was a role master dude, which everyone lovingly calls rule master because it's so many rules or whatever. And I got into Space Master and Cyberpunk or Cyberspace, not Cyberpunk, Cyberspace, which is the role master version. So I do have sort of this, I guess, framework of moving around to different role-playing games, and Call of Cthulhu was good, great. And I checked out a lot of others. I especially started buying a lot back in the day as references for writing and stories and stuff. And I even wrote a lot of my own. Anyway, why am I going off on a tangent like I always do? You don't need Dungeons and Dragons. You don't need to I know maybe some of you feel like, because I did too. In recent months, literally, I started to feel this bug about the whole woke and the pushing agenda and all that, and the way they're changing things, and, like Disney and whatever, and Marvel or whatever. And there's this sort of sense of like, oh, this is my past, I'm addicted to this. For the Lord, you got to give it up, or you give it up. It's more rewarding than painful when I gave up 5e, or wanted to give up 5. I didn't want to give up 5e, right? I didn't want to give up Star Wars, or I didn't want to give these things up. But the Holy Spirit, just made me feel in progression to remove myself from it. So, and that's kind of the Christian thing, is we remove ourselves from the world. We're not of the world, or we're not succumbed or addicted to the world, but we're still in the world, right? We're still in it. We still RPG. We're still going to RPG. And I started thinking about that. I don't know. It was very weird the way this all came about, but doing a Christian RPG has been the most rewarding thing I've done. And so I'm so excited. And my last video on the 5 things I hate about D&D or RPGs, this Christian RPG is what kind of got me figuring this all out. Now, obviously, I found a bunch of other cool little RPGs and indie OSR type games that helped me find out the things that I like and don't like about D&D or what other options there are. And I started swirling in my own mind about how do I do a Christian RPG? So I just want to let you all know, Merry Christmas. First off, Merry Christmas. And I'm just doing this video while everyone else is asleep still, and I tend to get up early. And I just been wanting to make a video about what's going on with this Christian RPG that I'm developing or have developed. I'm just not waiting, but the business partner and I are getting things together. But obviously, with the season, it's kind of hard to get things figured out. So we're going to wait until the new year. But a Christian RPG ready to go. It's ready to be published. I'm constantly tweaking a little bits here and there, and I need to polish up some of the stuff that I've moved around, but it's pretty much, other than that, it's ready to go. I've play tested it so much now with people that have never played. That's been the best experience. Actors some of them didn't even know what an RPG was. Or actually, most of them didn't know what an RPG was. So that was cool. And granted, I, as an experienced GM, have held their hand and guided them through the process. But still, this, for me as a GM, this really works. It's very nice and easy and fluid, and I like it. Maybe as a old veteran GM, I just know how to fill in the gaps. But we'll see. We'll get some new GMs to try and role play this and figure it out. But but I'm going to be doing this series, like a show and tutorials all along the way for this. I'm going to constantly be doing tutorials and run-throughs or whatever, playing with different types of people as far as experience levels in RPGs. And so, it's going to be fine. It's just a great system. It's very open-ended and fluid, and it can be very simple, or if you want it to be complicated, you can continually build upon it, and there's a freedom there. Here's another cool thing about this Christian RPG. It's brutal, grim. You can make it brutal or grim. You can make it more preachy or pastoral. You can make it more family friendly, or you can make it more, tough and freaky deaky. And the funny thing about us Christians, right, is that we believe in this stuff for realsies. We believe in for realsies, the dark, the demons, the demonic influence, or whatever, the push and into the dark realms. So we believe in it for realsies. It's real to us. Absolutely real. I absolutely believe in demons. Like, they're real. They can affect us. I mean, I got the Holy Spirit, so I'm protected, but you get the point. And that's kind of the funny thing about it. It's for real, So, but this game is going to be light. It's going to be fun. You are going to go up against demonic influences and possessions and stuff on the unbelievers or pagans or whatever. So anyway, I want it to get released. So this is what I really want. Let me drink some coffee. But I have a 6th century Italy, dark, ages kind of a setting. And here's the cool thing. Any fun setting you can think of in Hollywood, or, that we all love and grow up with, can be used for, and it's still Christian compliant or whatever, or even creation science compliant. Yeah. So I've got a whole bunch of settings: post-apocalyptic, sci-fi, futuristic. I've got, well, those are the 3 main ones I'm going to be doing. I do want to do like a gothic one, and which is totally going to be awesome and wicked and creepy. And I've been reading a lot of paganism, Christian, early medieval study books, and crazy stuff. Okay, so there's no limit to what we Christian RPGs can do, and adult stuff. I mean, the adult Bible stuff is in there, but definitely want to have the fun, family, friendly kid stuff. I also want to develop a Christian creation, like a Noah's flood setting. Man, that's Hyperborea or Hyborea, either one. We got that one, man. I mean, the Nephilim, or who, some say good, some say bad. Were they demons marrying women, or were they just the pagan-y giants, and dinosaurs and giant beasts and giant insects and giant everything, and before the flood kind of thing? And, think about this too. God had to flood the whole thing because it was so murderous, right? So it's like you play one of Noah's sons or daughters, like the sort of underneath him to support him, and then you've got like 200 to 300 years right there of trying to help him build his ark. And guess what? There's going to be adventure to be had, kind of thing. So, see, that's crazy. I haven't done that one yet, and if you want to steal that idea from me, go for it. But and that's another thing concerning, like, I want it to be an OpenGL thing. I want this game system to be for everybody. I got a biz partner, so we got to figure this all out. But the bit that I've talked to him about it, he's like, "Oh, a mod? You mean like a mod? Like you do a mod to the?" I'm like, "Yeah, like a mod. Yeah, exactly." So that's kind of what So obviously I don't mind, if someone takes my game, steals or whatever, in the pagan world or in the secular world, fine. You got to compete with 1,000 other secular pagan games out there. But if a Christian wants to steal my game or take it or whatever, that makes 2 of us. So fine. Yes. So I'm happy either way. I mean, I'm not bothered either way. I want Christian RPGs to spread amongst youth groups and church groups and families. I want dads to have their kids and their wife sitting there playing a Christian in a role-playing game, as a fun fantasy adventure. as whatever else, space marine, as space marines, whatever. We can do it. We're gonna have this is gonna be fun. And here's an open call. If any of you are interested in helping out or want to play test, want to be a GM, want to contribute, just email me. That's fine by me. I think a guy is going to help do a Greek version, do it in Greece because he's from Greece. So he's going to try to do like a 6th century, the pagan Hellenistic. I don't know if Hellenistic was the 6th century, the Greece thing, where the missionaries go there. And what was that like? So, and then of course, using a lot of myth and folklore. And I'm like, I don't want it to be fantastical, but I want it to be folklore, myth, and legend to the extreme. So I don't want flying Pegasus necessarily in the game, but I certainly want like great horses, maybe even demonic horses or demonic beasts for sure. Feral, demonic, large, ogre, even, perhaps gianty, demonic for sure. That kind of stuff, and so there's not like, there's a limit, but not really limit, and I even think that we can do demonic beasts that maybe, like a wolf that has tentacles, or like a displacer cat. Does he really have tentacles, or is it just these sort of dark demonic, vision of tentacles coming out and doing the same thing, attacking, holding someone in fear and pain and, reducing their stamina down, which is their hit points. So the same kind of concept. You can have demonic sort of creatures that are visually monstrous, but it's more of the spiritual realm of freaky deaky and breaking someone down, physically, mentally, so there's that. So we're not limited as Christians, and Christians that want to be compliant with sort of a real world. I want it to be hinged on a real world setting, as Christians going out and being Christians and being missionaries. So this is it's a fun time. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, how much I fleshed out, and the combat system is simple but runs great. As you can see, I got my helmets here. I'm familiar with medieval combat, in a sports like setting, in a fenced in list, and I wear full plate. So I get a sense of what fighting is like, and there's definitely a psychological breakthrough you need to actually be able to fight in combat. It's freaky deaky, because you can freeze up just because you're confused and now you're getting attacked or whatever. Anyway, my point being, I'm really into this stuff, and I feel like this is a good. The Christian RPG feels right, feels good. The combat feels good. In the way it just feels like Dungeons and Dragons to me, the way Dungeons and Dragons should be, the way role-playing games should be for Christians. And it is not, and I'm not trying to put us Christians into the fantasy world. I'm not trying to do that. We don't need to. We have so much freaky deaky fantasy, not even fantasy, but myth. The reason I don't like to use the word fantasy because it's akin to D&D type stuff. But we have so much intense freaky deaky on our own that we're just ignoring or forgetting, or overlooking for the doofy fantasy stuff. The doofy fantasy stuff is sort of silly and harmless and goofy and comic booky and superhero-y. But I'm bringing in like, holy moly, the scary freaky deaky stuff, that's even more intense and more related to reality, but and also to our own edification, right? Our own learning of Christianity, of our missionary work, our evangelism, our ability to formulate and understand ourselves in a fun, goofy setting where you still get to swing a sword, and because you're going to come up against those who just are not gonna accept Christianity at all, and will not accept the freeing of their own slaves or whatever, So you get the thing. So there's going to be plenty of action. There is plenty of action in it. And another thing, men and women, there is a difference. Women are not going to be wielding battle axes. No, not at all. I know there's even videos of arguments of people. I think Andrew Clavin and some other dude about how women can fight men with swords. No, they cannot. I could get into that argument, but no, they can't. I get that there's some that train and are athletic and can do it for a little while, but they cannot do what the bashing, charging, full throttled, joint tearing, tension, cartilage thing that a battle really calls for. So men and women in the game are different, and women have to have different qualities than a man, and they do not have the quality of wielding a battle axe. So that's different, and I want it to be different, and I want the girls and women to play this, not feel like they can play football or play rugby with men or men who think they're women. Okay, so men are men, women are women. I made it so that the women have, like I said, different abilities and qualities that they can use that men generally don't. So there is a cool puzzle where they got to fit together their skills and abilities and strengths and weaknesses, the men and women. So there's that. Men and women are different. What else is different? Men are, okay, here's another thing, Christians, and I presented this to every woman, and I had more women than men on apply for the what I was doing. But anyway, I told every one of them, and everyone was like, cool. Men are pastors. Men are pastors. Women cannot be pastors in this game. I mean, you can change it and homebrew it however you want, but men are the pastors. Now, I can't be a pastor. Okay, so there's that. I can't be a pastor because I'm not qualified. I'm too crazy. I'm too wacko. I'm too impatient to be a pastor. I got the wife and the kids, and I'm pretty much okay with the wine. I don't get drunk on the wine, but I do drink the wine. But I don't have a filter. So and the pastors have told me that in polite, humorous ways. So I'm not qualified to be a pastor. But anyway, men can be pastors, women cannot. However, women can evangelize. They can certainly evangelize. They can go out, preach, and try to get people to the church and help build the church. But a man, and it's supposed to be a husband and a father too, is the one who's qualified to run a church, the local church. And that's the boring job anyway. The pastor's got to sit there, whereas the monk and the nun and the patron lady and the warrior or the knight, they need to go out, and do the mission work. And there's also, you can have more classes too. You can have bard or whatever. And it's open too. The knight can become a bard. It's just a matter of him, working on his skills in bardery or, in lute or whatever. So I'm telling you, man, please subscribe here. I'm going to be doing more and more videos about this. I'm the biz partner and I in the new year. I want to keep bringing out more and more news. I'm really anxious, which I shouldn't be. I should be patient. It's Christmas too, so I should be really patient, but I'm really excited about this. I'm really having a lot of fun with it. This downtime is like all of us who joke about it during the Christmas and the holidays is like waiting to DnD again or DnD to RPG again. But I just wanted to give out this news. I'm ready to go. But of course, I should celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, King of Kings, Lord, our Savior. Very joyous. I'm very joyous and grateful to God for what I have in my life now and how He's allowing me to do this. And I love storytelling in any form, and this has been wonderful. So I just want to bring out this video just to let you know what's up, and please have a Merry Christmas and enjoy with your family, your friends, and be ready to be a player or a grand minister coming in the new year. And it's fun. It's easy. I'm assuming we can throw down, and you can throw it down in one evening really quickly and have people play. I should test that out with my family. Actually, I'm going to with my family. This Christmas. My chef daughter is going to be cooking for us on Christmas Day, and then we're going to have a few days after that where she's off from our restaurant, and that'll be really grateful and joyful. All right, so Merry Christmas. I will see you in the new year or between the year. I don't know, sooner than later, I hope, and with more news about this. I've got a show in the can. Is that the right way? Ready to be released, but I just got me and the biz partner got to figure all that out, and hopefully some Christian streaming services will be intrigued, interested, or supportive and help us so we can pay the actors and be consistent and keep rolling them out. Okay, that's it. That's my crazy news. I'm just here in the early morning before on Christmas Eve, and I got to go get some more sugar. All right, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and let's get this going. All right.